Protesters took to the streets today. This is day 48 of Occupy Los Angeles, and you're watching Inside Out News. We had protesters sitting on the floor in front of the police who were in riot gear. There was over 100 police officers here in riot gear. Some of them had these foam bullets in canisters, which one of the police officers told me that the way that they use them is they aim them down at the ground and then they pop up, and it's really as a way to create, to disperse the crowd, to scare the crowd. They're not actually aimed at the protesters. They're not beanbags that they shoot at protesters. So they had those canisters ready. They did not have tear gas on them. They only had these foam rubber bullets. The protesters were prepared for tear gas. They were prepared for pepper spray. Some of them had vinegar napkins that they were rubbing on cloth that they could wrap against their mouth, that they could use to wipe their eyes if they were pepper sprayed. A few others had water bottles filled with a concoction of Maalox and water. It's something like 50% water, 50% Maalox. And this mixture is supposed to help remove any pepper spray or tear gas from the protesters' eyes. This was used in Zuccotti Park earlier in the week when they were evicted. There was an 80-something-year-old woman, there's pictures on the internet of her with the Maalox concoction being poured into her eyes. So the protesters here were prepared for that type of incident should it happen, but it did not happen because it was a very peaceful arrest. The protesters were peaceful, aside from two young men who came from behind the media and started a bit of confrontation with the police. They were physically pressed down on the ground. It was a rather violent arrest. But aside from that, the actual protesters were very peaceful. They were chanting, they were cheering.